Peace, family. Thank you for tuning in with me today. Today's reading is going to be about what exactly needs your attention at this moment in time. In our day-to-day lives, it's so easy to get thrown off and caught up in the whole, in the thick of things, let's say, with what's going on in the world. It can be super stressful and you can just get into survival mode. And when you get into survival mode, you miss out on a lot of the important things that are going on in your life. And you can also overlook a lot of things in your life that need your attention. So we're going to start today with group number 1. This is your reading, first of all, and we're going to start with one tarot card, and I'm going to choose another tarot card at the end to get some additional information. All right, group number 1, you have the Fool card. And what that tells me is that you, like most other people in this world at this point in time, have lost your sense of living and that jubilant lifestyle that you've had. Over the years, it's just kind of fizzled away because group number 1, I'm sensing maybe a lot of you are in survival mode right now because of what's going on in this world at this time. The climate of the world, sorry. It's like everybody is kind of running on fumes, or they're like just trying to get by so that they can stay well. We don't know, it seems, what's waiting around the corner for us from one moment to the next. There's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of stuff bombarding you every day for almost 2 years now. So we've all lost this sense of, just living. I would say and when I say carefree, I mean just being able to go to the store without a mask on, or, being able to hug your friends or being close to your loved ones. It may have seemed like nothing back then, but now we look at that and we think, man, we were living on the edge. Like, we were so carefree. So group number 1, that's something that needs your attention at this point in time. The energies are just letting you know that now is a good time, if any, to kind of get back to who you used to be and take some time to put aside everything that's going on, and not even just on a worldwide scale. It could just be within your life. Maybe there's a lot going on in your life. You're working hard. Maybe you've taken on extra jobs. Maybe relationships are suffering. Sometimes with this whole quarantine situation and all of that, people are getting sick and tired of the people that they've had to lock down with. So, just on a personal level as well, this is your chance to kind of maybe put aside the stresses. And it's not like we can always just abandon whatever's stressing us out. We need to the energies are kind of asking you to just put those stressors and whatever it is that triggers you at this moment in time to kind of go into survival mode. Put those aside for some time and take the time to embrace life again, to savor life, to look around you and be able to appreciate what this life has to offer. Small things, free things that you used to do that, you put aside or you let fade away because you were busy worrying about how to survive, or what was going to happen with your marriage, or where your next meal is going to come from, how you're going to pay your bills, those types of things. Now is the time to not abandon those things completely, but to pick them back up at a different time. Just take some time for yourself, like even if it's an hour a day, that me time, that time for you to recuperate from the stressors of everyday life. Just even going to work for some people is super duper stressful, and it forces you to always be in that go mode, or you're always thinking ahead and not just embracing what life has to offer. Now the energies are asking you to get back to that and not lose who you are, because when you do that, you can also lose who you are and forget what makes you happy, what gives you that sense of fulfillment. Now, is your time to kind of be aware of that and try and embrace life and living and enjoyment and happiness, fulfillment, high level energies. That's what you need at this point in time. Even a good thing to do is to surround yourself with people who maybe you used to be in, like say a friend that you used to be with and you used to hang out with before everything changed, and you know, now you haven't seen them for whatever reason. Maybe now is the time to reconnect with that person so you can kind of re-embrace and reignite that kind of spark that you used to have when you were around this person. You know, sometimes, you know, you've ever had that feeling where not necessarily your spouse, no family members, but you have that one special friend who can bring out that aspect of yourself that nobody else can. Maybe that silly nature that you have, or even maybe you're around someone who forces you to look at things in a different way. You have a friend who brings out that thoughtful side of yourself, or who opens up your heart and makes you get more in touch with your softer side, maybe your more feminine side, or you have a friend who brings out your more masculine side, someone who you have fun with, and you can be more carefree. Now is the time to pick up those types of things. Now is the time for self-care. Now is the time to go to get a pedicure, a manicure, you know, to even have a cup of coffee early in the morning. If you want to get up half an hour before everybody else, have a cup of coffee outside to kind of decompress and clear your mind before your busy day starts or your busy week starts. Okay, so let's get into the oracle cards right now and see what else we can add on to this. So the first one says, all right, the spiral, and that's number 50. All right, so right off the bat, I always look at the numbers first, and the 5 for me suggests some kind of change that needs to happen. And like I was saying to you, we always get caught up in the everyday, you know, the whole hum, just going through work, you know, work, home, sleep, work, home, sleep, or whatever. You know, it's just like monotony, and monotony can also kill you, you know, like it kills your spark, it kills your drive, that fire inside you, it just totally extinguishes it. So what I'm seeing in the reading, it seems like you're being nudged to change certain things of your life that are kind of making things so dull and like boring and blah, and just like not necessarily bad, but not necessarily good either. So you're being asked and you're being called to make a change. It may be uncomfortable, but that's okay. That's what change is about, and that's what you should be embracing, you know. And okay, I'll come back to that in a second. Okay, the next oracle card is the Earth Keeper, and that's number 18. So what I'm feeling here is that okay, first and foremost, with the spiral, I wanted to touch on it before, but I'll come back to it now. With the spiral, like I was saying before, now is the time to get in touch with who you are. And a lot has happened over the past year and a half, and it has changed a lot of us, not necessarily for the bad, not necessarily for the good, but it's made us look at things a lot differently, life a lot differently maybe. And now we see that life hangs in the balance sometimes, so it's so fragile, and it needs to be appreciated. The people around you need to be appreciated. So I feel like this is the time for you to kind of sit and reflect as well, and get back to yourself and figure out, okay, what makes me tick? Maybe a couple years ago, I liked this. Do I necessarily like it now? What's making me feel unsettled? What's making me feel uneasy? What can I improve in my life? It's like taking time to get to know yourself and what you're about all over again. Because, you know, what worked for you back then may not necessarily work for you right now. And that goes along with the Earth Keeper as well. I'm feeling like you are being nudged to head out, go out. Don't stay inside anymore. You need to go outside. Maybe some of you were, you know, outdoorsy type before everything popped off. Now is the time to get back outside and take a breath of fresh air, get in touch with, you know, nature, play with your animals. And this could also be a time for you to help somebody else. Maybe that friend who you used to hang out with, who you haven't seen in a while, maybe they are in need of help. Maybe they're feeling stifled and feeling blah and need a change. I need to embrace change and a new way of doing things. Now is your time as well to step up and help those around you, because a lot of people are suffering. Mental health issues are a real deal now, especially in this world that we're living in. So this is also a reminder for you to check up on your friends. Look out for your friends. Make sure they're all right as well. And family members and your pets. And, you know, just get in touch with nature and it's almost like going back to ground zero and starting all over again, in a sense. Not all over again, because that's daunting, right? But just kind of starting from scratch, going outside, finding out what makes you feel good. Going outside could also be going to a library. It could also be going to the drive-in movie, you know, just getting out of the house to figure out what it is that you enjoy doing and who you are again. Okay, so the next oracle card is, look, I was just talking about that, Ancient Forest. Ancient Forest. Okay, talking about going back outside and getting in touch with nature. You can learn so much from nature. And for some reason, I'm feeling like, because in conjunction with the spiral, right, and the Earth Keeper, I'm feeling like this is a message coming from, you know, the ancestors, to be honest. I feel like it's a message from the ancestors letting you know, go back in nature. That's where you'll find us. That's where you'll hear us. If some of you are searching, soul searching, and maybe feeling kind of lost and you don't know which direction to turn, where, you know, to take, where your life is going to go, and you want to do some soul searching, you need some answers, get in touch with your ancestors. Okay, reach out to them, learn about them, figure out who you are, where you've come from. That can definitely help you find out where you want to go. Okay, so the final oracle card we have here, it says passion, and that's exactly what we were just talking about. You may have lost a sense of passion for life and just like being able to savor life. Even your food may taste bland. You know, a lot of people who were stuck in the home are getting sick of their own cooking because it's like you just stayed home. Some people didn't want to go to restaurants when they first opened back up, you know, because there's a sense of fear going on, and everybody's worried about their health and their safety, which makes complete sense. So now they're letting you know, the ancestors are letting you know, these ancient energies are letting you know to pick back up and where you left off, but not with the same activities that you used to do before, but with something new. So pick back up with that zest for life and that love for life that you've been missing out on, and try something new. Go outside and just listen. Be still, be quiet, figure out what it is you like. Get in touch with yourself and who you are, and you will not be steered wrong. Okay, I wanted to just do one more tarot card just to get a little bit more information here, and one more oracle card, group 1. Okay, with my shuffling takes me a little while, so I may cut the clip until for when a card pops out. I only take the jumpers, guys. And there you go, there's one. All right, let's see what we got. All right, there you go. We got the King of Cups. All right, so with the King of Cups, I always think of what rings out in my head is emotional intelligence. So I believe that the energies are letting you know that not to fear. Don't worry. You have to pick and choose what to get worried about in this life, because that feeling of blah and that kind of like, ugh, you know, nothing new going on, it's just the same thing every day, that can eventually bring about things like, you know, bouts of depression or, you know, worse feelings. So at this point in time, they're trying to tell you to put everything into perspective, okay? Keep a level head about things. Know what you have to do and do it. So now is the time to kind of compartmentalize your life, in the sense that, okay, work is something you have to do. It's boring, it's mundane, it's monotonous, okay, but it's something you have to do. So, okay, fine, we'll do that. But there's another side of yourself, another compartment, and that is you. You are not your job is not you. You are you. So who are you? Now is the time to spend your energies, pay your energies where it is deserved. Okay, don't get too stressed out about work that you end up being miserable when you're at home. That's the type of thing I'm talking about. So please do get out in nature. Don't stay inside, because that's not a good thing either. And we're going to pull one more card here. One more oracle card to end the reading for group number 1. Get that passion flowing. Do something that's going to ignite you. Try different things. That's how you're going to learn whatever it is you're good at, you know, and whatever you like. Because, you know, as you get older, when you think about it, the things you liked when you were younger are not even necessarily the things you like now. Now is the time to try different things. You know, what do they say? Variety is the spice of life. Yeah, now is the time to try that variety. Okay? Try something new in your life. And don't get too rattled if what you're trying is not working for you or you don't like it. It's all right. Leave it alone. There's so many other things that you could pick up that will benefit you and make you feel good, make you feel happy again, and like the old you know? Because I feel like group number 1, some of you have maybe lost yourselves over these past little while. All right, so this card, this is the final card before the end of your reading, group number 1. It says Spirit, heavenly assistance from your angels and your guides. All right, so I picked up on your ancestors. This one is saying it's your spirit guides. Okay, so it's either your guides or your ancestors or both. Whoever it is that you have, that you resonate with, that you talk to, that you call on in times when, you know, things are kind of difficult or you just need a little bit of help that nobody else would understand, but your guides or your ancestors. Now is the time to keep speaking to them, and this is a message from them. Okay, they want you to be happy, and they have your well-being at heart always. So they're asking you to get back outside, switch it up a little bit, and that passion will just naturally, automatically reignite in your soul. Okay, so group number 1, this was your reading. I hope something I said today resonated with you. I pray that all goes well with you in these times. Until we see each other again, guys. Bye. Group number 2, thank you for tuning in with me today. As you all know, the topic is things that are that need your attention at this point in time. With the climate of the world right now, like I said to group number 1, we can get into that kind of headspace where we're just really trying to survive, and we're just trying to make ends meet, and we're just trying to stay well, and we're trying to stay healthy. And you know, that can be pretty tough. That can be pretty taxing and trying. And we can overlook a lot of things when we do that as well. A lot of important things. You know, bills need to get paid. Yes, they do. But also mental health needs to be taken care of. Our physical form needs to be taken care of. Our health, all of those things. So let's hear what you need to take care of, group number 2. I'm going to start off with 1 tarot card and then a few oracle cards. And at the end, I'll just pick up another extra tarot card for some extra messages. All right, so the first tarot card we have here is, all right, the 10 of Swords. So group number 2, I'm getting that you need to call, you need to, let's see, you need to call it quits where something is concerned. I feel like something is bothering you and it's causing you a lot of stress on top of the stress that you're already going through. And it's like you can't concentrate on, you know, getting things done and meeting your needs because there's this thing, which I think could be a person, may not be, could also be a job, but there's this thing that's causing you such anguish and stress and unease. You feel unsettled, you feel thrown off by this thing. And now is the time for you to either stop that thing, get rid of that thing, get away from that thing, cut that thing off. And it doesn't mean you have to do that now. Let's say, for example, it's a relationship and you are married to or in a relationship or a friendship with somebody who is toxic or who's giving you a hard time and throwing you off, messing with your mental stability. Now is the time for you to, you don't have to necessarily cut yourself off from that person, because if you're married to somebody, how do you just literally cut them off and move on? That's not always realistic. So now is the time to actually put a barrier between your energy and the energy of that stressor, of that trigger, whatever it is that's throwing you off. If you have a game plan and you want to achieve something in life, and then you have this person or this situation, a living arrangement maybe, or something that keeps coming up, you need to get your head around the fact that this is no good for you. First, you have to identify that, which I feel like group number 2, a lot of you already know what's triggering you and what's toxic for you, what's not adding to your betterment. Now is the time for you to block your energy off or cut their energy off from attacking yours. I'm feeling like some of you in group number 2 can be empathic, right? Or just super duper sympathetic. You could be people who are, like you want to help. You want to do as much as you can. Maybe you're somebody who's nice to a fault, so you'll bend over backwards for certain people, but then when you're in need, they're nowhere around. Or maybe you can be around people who just take from you all the time, and then you have nothing left to give for yourself. It doesn't even have to be as toxic as all that. It could just be a situation that you know is not adding to your betterment or to your elevation or to your enlightenment. It's kind of taking away a little bit at a time. That is where now is the time where you need to practice certain. You can do things like meditations. You can wear stones and talisman made out of the black stones, like what I have there, black tourmaline, onyx. What are the other ones? I can't even remember all the other ones. Black tourmaline, onyx. There's even amethyst as well, the purple one. A lot of these shungite. A lot of these stones, they absorb negative energies around you, and that can also help you. You can also pray. You can also meditate to kind of block off certain energies from interacting with yours. There's a lot of things you can do out there, and it just takes a little bit of research to find out what will work best with you. Different things work for different people. Even just working out sometimes can work in a sense where if your body is strong, and you have all these dopamines, all these wonderful feelings that come from working out, then your mind and your spirit just become strong as well, and you are more confident to cut off someone's energy from attacking yours. Or it doesn't have to be a person, it could be a situation as well. I don't just want to, talk about people being negative. Situations can be negative as well. It could also be negative habits that you've, acquired over the past little while. Maybe even when all of this whole madness started happening in the world, a lot of people acquired a lot of bad habits, detrimental habits. Could be substance abuse, could be those types of things that are really changing you from who you know yourself to be and hindering you from becoming the best person you can be. So, from the smallest to the largest, there's always something that's holding us back from becoming a better version of ourselves. And the energies are letting you know that now is the time to look and see what is triggering you, what's holding you back, what's hindering you, what's poisoning you. What is it that you need to block yourself from? Okay, that's what needs your attention, because if you don't block yourself from those things now, or build your confidence to be able to deal with those things now, it's going to end up becoming worse and more detrimental to your well-being later on. All right, so so this oracle card we have here is the number 7, and it says the child. I'm feeling like if some of you, group number 2, this toxic energy that you could have to interact with could be a family member, it could be a parent, right? Or a parent figure, could be an authority figure, could be a grandparent. And strangely enough, for those of you who have children, it could actually be a child. Not just because you're a parent, that means that you get along wonderfully with your children. Sometimes you can have a child who you just kind of bump heads with all the time, and they can really throw you off because you as a parent have a love for your child, and if they are not as loving in return, that can cause a large amount of turmoil in your life. So it can be a child, it could be a spouse who you have a child with, right? So I feel like, or you could also be in a situation with somebody, or in just a situation in general, where you feel like a child. You feel like if you're not being taken seriously, your voice isn't being heard, you're not, your opinions don't matter, they kind of are dismissive towards you. That could be a work situation. These are all situations that you don't want in your life, right? And you can't necessarily just up and leave. So you have to learn to block. And that takes extreme mental strength. That takes a lot of physical fortitude, a lot of spiritual fortitude. I'm also seeing the number 7. That's making me feel like you need to get in touch, group number 2, with the spiritual side of yourself, being more still and listening to the voices around you, meaning nature, your spirit guides, your ancestors, the angels, the universe, God, whoever it is you identify with. Now is the time to be still and get more in touch with that. There you go. I was about to say, I'm feeling like moon energy here. So this is number 37, and the card is the moon card. And yeah, I do believe as well, part of something that you need to cut off could also be something within you. It doesn't necessarily have to even be something external. It could be something, I was going to say this before, could have been something that came from your childhood that is hindering you, and that's almost like, feels like an attack on you. Could be memories, could be childhood trauma. Any of these things need to be dealt with now. Anything that you feel is kind of throwing you off and messing with your vibe, your energy, and maybe causing you to lose sleep, causing you to have a negative view of the world or of your world, that needs your attention. And because I see the moon here, I feel like, you should get in touch with your intuition more, listen to yourself, listen to your gut a little bit more, and say, okay, you know what, this is not supposed to be like this. I need to fix it. Look within and see what triggers you and how you can deal with it. This is all about getting to know yourself through like what's going on around you. How do you respond to certain people in certain situations? Do you let them continue to throw you off and keep you off balance in your own life? Or do you say, okay, you know what, I can't necessarily get away from this situation, but I can definitely respond to it a lot better than I have been already. All right, here comes the next oracle card, because I don't want this reading to be too long. This card is called Spirit Keeper of the East. Okay, and I'm going to read from the book in this one because I want to get this right. Okay, Spirit Keeper of the East. The card meaning is new beginnings. A fresh cycle is occurring in your life. Wipe the slate clean. It's now time to release the old and start again. That's exactly what I was saying to you. No matter what happened in the past, it doesn't need to repeat in the future. So that's exactly what I was basically saying. So like I was saying, for childhood traumas and those types of things, it doesn't have to repeat in the future. The way you've interacted with people who have maybe gotten the better of you in the past, it doesn't have to repeat in the future. So now is the time to put an end to that and say, okay, I am going to care about my well-being more than I do anybody else's, and I'm going to block them from every direction. Even from hearing like Spirit Keeper of the East makes me think of directions. You need to block yourself off from every direction, okay? Because the triggers could be coming from various places. All right, and the last oracle card we have here is peace. That's the goal. That's exactly what will come. All you have to do is look within. This is something, group number 2, that you don't need to like look outside for this peace. This is peace. This is inner peace. This is peace that will come from you getting to know yourself and seeing how strong you are and working on, building up your foundation, building up your constitution to be able to deal with the stressors around you. And there's nothing wrong with being stressed or feeling triggered. We all get stressed and triggered at some time. It's just about how we deal with it, what do we do with it, and not letting it like ruin our lives and ruin us. All right, and there's one more tarot card I'm going to get for you here, Ace of Swords. And with this, I believe that, first of all, it's a good sign that if you do this, and take time to get to know yourself and study yourself and see what it is that you are needing, and maybe what you are lacking within yourself. I'm talking about what is it that makes you allow these people to attack you, or these situations to attack you psychically, physically, emotionally, spiritually speaking. Now you will come to a breakthrough. You will come to a breakthrough. You will come to a point where you will say, okay, I've been working on myself. I've been looking at what it is that's bothering me. I've been looking at why it is that I allow these situations to get the better of me. And you will come to that breakthrough answer and work on yourself. And believe me, things will just kind of fall away and you will find your peace. All right. And then there's one last message I'm going to give you. One last oracle card here. It takes me a while to shuffle, so. All right. Oh, and I forgot to put that in with the Ace of Swords. It says air. Work with the element of air to cut through to the core of the situation and see the truth. So when I think of air, I think of your throat chakra. I think of speaking up for yourself. If something is not right and someone's taking advantage of you or you're not happy with the situation, it's good to speak about it, or it's good to write about it, meaning getting your thoughts on there, journaling. Those types of things are very important. And maybe going and seeking counseling, like a psychiatrist or a counselor, speaking to a best friend. Sometimes you just need to get these things out to help the healing begin. Chanting is also another thing. Incantations, even writing spells to help build yourself up and block yourself off from any negative situations. That can also help. I also think of getting in touch with nature as well, because that's always very important. Also, singing is another one. Working out, those types of things that deal with your breath. That would be important for you to do right now to help you deal with these things, group number 2. Okay, but it is promising because I see here you will find your peace. You will be victorious. You will have your breakthrough. All right, so group number 2, I hope something I said to you today made sense and it resonated with you. Thank you so much for tuning in with me. Until we see each other again, guys. Bye. All right, hey, group number 3, this is your reading. As you well know, the topic today will be things that need your attention. So we are going to start with one tarot card, and I will pull another one at the end of the reading for additional messages, and also a oracle card. All right, so let's start. Things that need your attention. Group number 3. 2 of Swords. All right, group number 3. I think it seems to me like group number 3, you've been holding back on making a tough decision and that you just don't want to make. And I feel like, you know the answer, you know the decision you should make, but you don't want to do it because maybe it's a difficult one to make. It's something that will maybe change the way your life is right now, life as you know it, and you're not comfortable with doing that. So you keep kind of like going back and forth with your decision instead of just making a decision and sticking with it. The energies are asking you. It's not as daunting as all that. If you are just thinking about it and thinking about it over and over in your head, then it ends up being worse and feeling bigger than what it really is. Take the step, take the leap, and finally make a decision. Listen to your intuition, get in touch with your gut, and make a decision. And it will be the right decision because you know what feels right to you and what doesn't feel right to you. You need to go with your heart is what this reading is letting you know. And the good thing about it is that it's not something that needs to be immediate. It doesn't have to be something that's so rigid and like severe. Like, okay, I'm going to make a decision. So yes, I'm just going to go with this one and then that's it. It can be a gradual thing. You listen to yourself, you meditate on it, and you make your decision based on what you could even write a list of pros and cons and, just get basic like that and write, the pros of the situation, the cons of the situation, whichever one there are more of, that's what you go with. But you can also do all of those things. You can meditate on it. You can write about it, talk to friends, get advice, do all these different things. And then at the end of all of that knowledge that you've acquired, then you can come to your own conclusion, listening to your gut, your intuition, your ancestors, your guides, God. You can pray on it, but a decision should be made soon. That's what they're saying. I feel like maybe you've been just some of you, group number 3, have been trying to busy yourself with other things because you don't necessarily want to address what needs to be addressed at this moment because it's hard. It's a hard decision to make. And I think we've all been in that situation. That's nothing strange, but it should be looked at and dealt with like soon. All right. So here we go. So the oracle cards. This oracle card here says willpower. All right. So like I was saying, the decision that you have to make that is not a pleasant one, maybe not an easy one, You're going to need a lot of willpower to make it. It could be just about anything. I'm not even hearing just one situation. It could be a love decision that needs to be made, maybe breaking up a relationship, ending a relationship, or getting into a relationship. Yeah, it could also be a work situation too, where you want to leave your 9 to 5. That's kind of getting monotonous, or maybe it's not what you want to do with your life and you're just doing it for financial reasons, and you want to pursue entrepreneurial endeavor and you're kind of dragging your heels on it because you're nervous or you're shy, or it could be something like starting a YouTube channel or something like that, that you are not comfortable doing, but you are neglecting to realize that anything that's uncomfortable is really what you should pursue. It will take a lot of willpower to not go back to that easy thing. Now is the time to step out and take the more challenging road, because you'll be more content with the results than just staying where you are, which is safe and comfortable and not going to get you very far and not going to help you become the type of person that you want to be and live your most authentic life. Okay, so the next oracle card we have here is the Serpent, and it's the number 46. All right, I'm going to read from the book on this. 46. It says, the serpent is the life force of Mother Earth. The coiled serpent of the Kundalini brings passion, healing, and renewal. She offers us the fruit of the tree of knowledge in the Garden of Eden and reminds us to shed the past the way she sheds her tired old skin. That's exactly what I was just saying. Serpent comes to offer you the forbidden fruit that will set your passion and your creativity free. So the invitation is that the Kundalini is stirring within your chakras, gently asking you to embrace its mystery. Shed the old skin that you have been so attached to and welcome the vulnerable pink underbelly that will bring you a fresh experience of your life. Your passion and sexuality are awakening, and this can be scary. Trust the wisdom of the serpent to transform your sensual energies into beautiful, original manifestation. So like I was just saying, and I'm glad I read for the book because they said it better than I ever could. Now is the time. We talk about Kundalini energy. We're talking about fire. We're talking about passion. We're talking about letting that energy burst through and not getting caught up in the mundane. Just like a snake sheds its skin, this is the time for you to shed all of that old, boring way of doing things. Make the decision that will make you the most uncomfortable. Just in case you're wondering which decision to take, it's the one that makes you most uncomfortable. Also, this card is a 46, which turns into a 10, which is really a 1, and that is suggesting a new beginning. If you do make the decision to, head out there and do something different with your life that you really want to do, but that's more difficult to swallow, makes you very uncomfortable, it will be a new way of living for you, a new beginning. This card here says the Sweat Lodge, and I'm also going to read from this book as well because I don't know these oracle cards that very well, but I love the way they have it written up. Okay, the Sweat Lodge represents the womb of Mother Earth. Volcanic stones are heated in a fire outside, then brought into the lodge and placed in a shallow hole in the center. Participants sit in complete darkness around the red stones to sweat away old habits and beliefs and heal disease. When you return humbly to the womb of the mother, you are offered second chances. This is a time to journey inward into the dark and hidden places of your soul to reconnect with the ancient earth wisdom. You can also create a sacred and intimate space in the dark by lighting a candle. Observe what emerges and without judging it, invite it to bring you its gifts. You are being offered an opportunity to shed and heal from the aspects of your life you have outgrown. Do not worry that you will be consumed by the process. Okay, so maybe that could also be a thing. You're worried about how things will change and how you will change if you decide to take that decision and make that leap forth to this kind of unknown way of living. And that's why I say, I know for some of you, group number 3, if you have a decision to make, I feel like you know what decision you want to make, but you're dragging your heels because you're not sure what the outcome will be. It's just that you know that you are drawn towards it for some reason. Well, when I think of Sweat Lodge as well, this one, the word sweat It makes me think of perspiration, like they were talking about, but perspiration meaning like with nerves and like, like when you're going to do something, that adrenaline, you have that sweat coming out. That's not always a bad thing. Sometimes that's a good thing. Some people work well under pressure. Some of you in group number 3 could be like that. So if you're ever questioning, if you should stay in the mundane or if you should try something new, then this is the time to try something new. Or even look into it, take it seriously, maybe look into the steps towards becoming an entrepreneur, or, look into save up some money maybe so that you can leave the 9-to-5 job to try an entrepreneurial thing. Just try different, like you don't have to do everything so drastically, but you should make a move towards trying something new. All right, and the last oracle card we have here, I'm going to read from this as well. But before I do, this one is Sacred Mountain. So what I get from this is that we well know, like everybody would love to climb a mountain, but those of you who have watched like documentaries on mountain climbing Mount Everest, or if you've spoken to people who have climbed mountains, it's a very difficult thing to do. As we well know, obviously we know how tall mountains are, and when you go on a mountain, there's different temperatures, different dangers that await you, but it's still something that you want to achieve, so you keep pushing on. You don't necessarily know what to expect along your journey, but you know that, and you have to have confidence in yourself enough to know that you'll be able to handle whatever you face and whatever obstacles you meet along your path. Let me read from the book, Sacred Mountain. All right. So the meaning of the card is be still and take the time to move into the silent place within yourself. Locate your internal source of power. Meditate. Wait. Do not move forward until it feels right. Surrender to stillness. Do not take action. If you observe rather than react, you claim your power. So that's exactly what I was just saying. Doesn't need to be something that you just run towards right now and say, okay, I'm sticking with this, I'm making the decision, here I go, and you jump off a cliff. No, it's something that, like I said, research about it, talk to people who have done what you are interested in doing, save up money, so if you do decide to leave your job, you have like a safety net there. Do certain things, put in place certain steps so that when you do finally make your decision, the decision that your gut is telling you to make, the decision that you should make for your well-being and for your betterment, for your elevation, when you finally do those things, you will be ready because you've done a lot of the back work. You've like done what was necessary quietly. You don't have to let the whole world know, but you just kind of research on your own to figure out what could happen and maybe put your mind a little bit more at ease and give you more confidence with the decision that you're making. Okay, so I'm just going to take one more tarot card for any extra messages for group number 3 about what needs your attention at this point. I might have to cut the clip and come back on because sometimes my shuffling takes a while. All right, the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is letting you know that you have all the answers within you. Get in touch with your intuition. Get in touch with yourself. And like I said, after you've done all the outside research, then now is the time to sit with yourself, be with yourself, listen to yourself. You can meditate, sit in stillness, you can write, you can journal, anything you need to do to get in touch with yourself, to tap into your intuition, and your intuition, your gut, that will help you make your right decision with whatever it is you are conflicted about at this point in time. Okay, you have the answers. Check with your intuition. Let your intuition have the final say with whatever it is you want to achieve in your life. Whatever it is that has you a little bit conflicted at this point in time, let your intuition step in. And you can only do that by like being quiet, being still. You have to be intentional about it. Your intuition's not necessarily the easiest thing to hear when you're busy and there's a lot of noise going on. That's why a lot of time people do fasting when they want to get in touch with their intuition, because it quiets the body. Your stomach is not full and worried about digesting food all the time, your stomach is actually, empty, so that you can actually, your body is more still that way. And you can spend some of your energy getting in touch with your Kundalini energy, and not being so bogged down by a 7-course meal that you had earlier. Okay, so one card just went flying out. All right, this card says Earth. Ask the element of Earth for grounding, stability, and strength in times of chaos. So there you go. So this could feel like chaos to you when you don't know what decision to make and which way to turn in your life. When I think of the element of Earth and we talk about grounding, getting out in nature, walk barefoot in the grass, having crystals around you, different type of crystals is also a way of getting in touch with the earth. Nature, I think of trees, I think of being outside, those types of things, getting in touch with earth. That's a good way to do it as well. Also planting, gardening, those types of things. That could also, like, not everybody has a green thumb. I don't think I have a green thumb. I think, some people will get a nice plant and they'll kill it. And other people will get a little shriveled up plant and they'll, make it blossom and grow and nurture it. Now is a good time to get into that as well, gardening. Anything that kind of brings you back to a centered feeling, like getting in touch with the earth, meaning like nature, and brings you back to square one. Nothing too fussy, nothing too frilly, nothing too artificial. Now's the time to look into maybe even, more holistic ways of doing things, like your vitamins that you take and stuff like that should be more on the natural side, that type of stuff, just to kind of bring you back to basics so that you can make things very simple and you can get the chance to listen to your intuition and tap in. You can't tap in when, you have the TV going, the iPad, and you're on the phone and you're listening to loud music. You could get in touch with, your intuition by listening to music, but it could be also music that's at a certain hertz to tap into different chakras, different parts of yourself, energetically speaking. I think that's the whole point, is like whatever works for you works, but it has to be something that will help quiet the mind so that you don't feel so hectic and in disarray, and you can make wise decisions in your life. Not just for this decision that could be bothering you right now, but for future decisions and whatever decisions you have in your life. The more you get in touch with listening to your intuition, the easier it will become for any decision, from things as serious as what you want to eat for dinner to like huge life decisions that you'll have to make. Once your tuition is there and you're in touch with your intuition, you can never go wrong. Okay, so group number 3, I wish you all the best. Get to know yourself. I would love to hear, from you about some hard life decisions you've had to make where you ended up being right in the end. So I just wish you all the best. I thank you so much for tuning in with me, group number 3. Until we see each other again, guys. Bye. Take care.